Welcome to the Art of Classiness Podcast, a show where we redefine what it means to be a classy lady. And sometimes it's messy. I'm Robin.
And I'm Deborah, two friends turned classy ladies who are here to discuss life's ups and downs, navigating the complexities of adulthood, and how the gift of friendship is essential to belonging.
Today we're asking the important questions. Are you a loyal golden retriever, a mysterious black cat, or a full-blown chaos goblin?
We're breaking down these viral friendship personalities, laughing at our own chaos, and figuring out what it says about how we show up in our own friendships.
So follow along, give us your feedback, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
What's up, classy ladies and gentlemen? Robin, how are you? Let's check in.
I'm good. It's really strange to actually be looking at you in person. Like we're having a real conversation.
We are having a face-to-face conversation right now. And for those of you that don't know this, Robin and I actually record our podcast virtually, sitting in two different states. And I am presently in Austin. So we are recording this face-to-face for the first time ever.
So exciting. A check-in. Ooh. Well, our whole weekend has just been go, go, go.
Go, go, go.
We scheduled a branding photo shoot, which was very successful, and we will have some highlights coming out soon. It was so much fun.
So much fun. A long day.
Such a long day.
Yes.
Modeling is no joke.
It really isn't. There were costume changes. There were location changes. We had hair and makeup. It's my first experience really with what I would call glam. I'm going to go ahead and call it glam.
It was glam.
We had glam, and yeah, we were out and about, changing it up. We had props. It's really hard, guys, being photographed, okay?
It is. You forget to drink water. You forget to eat.
Yes.
Oh, we have a fantastic B-roll of Deborah and I trying to eat tacos standing up.
Yeah, you ate when you could. And thankfully, one of our locations also serves tacos, which is my favorite food group. So we got to scarf down some tacos and chips in between takes. And then also, thankfully, one of our later shots includes a charcuterie board and then some chips. If we did not have these props or locations scheduled in, I would have fainted. I would have passed out and had to go to an IV bar from our dehydration and malnourishment. Because I can't go more than 3 hours without consuming food.
Yeah. And then, that was a 13-hour day. And then we just got home, climbed into bed, and watched House Hunters International.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. You just need a formulaic show after a day like that. I don't want surprises. I don't need a plot twist.
No.
I don't want to figure out a character development.
We still saw some plot twists.
We still saw some plot twists with some House Hunters International. I don't know if you've gone down the rabbit hole of the different volumes you can find streaming these days, but we found some good ones for sure.
And then yesterday, we took a break, spent the whole day hanging out with friends, hanging out with pals, enjoying the nice weather. So much chatting and eating, snacks galore.
I mean, if you've heard us talk about our favorite things to do with friends, know that we live and breathe those core values in real life because we really hit up all of the necessary girl time things. Endless talking, constant validation, really supporting each other, hyping each other up.
Some tears were shed.
Nostalgia, laughing, joking, talking about girly stuff, talking about our changing bodies. I mean, we just hit up all of the main bullet points, and I just feel so psychologically fulfilled right now.
And we got a couple photos, aside from the branding shoot.
We actually took photos of each other, which is also great because we're really bad taking pictures when we are together because we are truly so in the moment. So really cannot complain. It was just a perfect weekend, start to finish.
Yay!
Yay!
So we tried to make time to record 2 episodes, but Deborah's flight is in 2 hours.
Yep. We are just really cutting it under the wire, but you know what? That's okay because this feels like a great opportunity to just dive right in to our topic.
Let's go. Today's topic is the viral and oddly accurate friendship types that are taking over the internet. There's 3. The golden retriever, the black cat, and the Chaos Goblin. We all imbibe all 3 traits, but there is one that's going to shine through naturally. So we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah, everybody has a fixed trait that probably mirrors one of these three personality types. And this is a really fun topic for us to talk about today because we spent so much time with our friend group this weekend that a lot of these personality types were definitely on display. So we're going to dive in a little bit into what constitutes each personality type, how you can tell which one you are, and how understanding the different personality types within your friend group can help you make adjustments as needed and how they can pair and complement each other as well.
Right. This is not science-backed. There's no test. It's just a new lens to look at personality types, a new way to better understand the dynamics in your friendship group.
Yeah. Plus, it's fun to call your friend a Chaos Goblin.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I just learned about a Chaos Goblin, and I'm very happy that exists.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately I knew which of my friends were that one. That one's so obvious to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's start at the top. Let's go with golden retriever friend. What makes a golden retriever friend?
So golden retrievers are if you think about extrovert versus introvert, the black cat is going to be more the introvert. The golden retriever is the extrovert. Like, they're loyal, optimistic, deeply invested in group plans. They're the one checking in. They're always the one in the group chat, like checking if you made it home safely. They're the friend that is happy to plan parties.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably the one hosting a lot.
Yeah. When I think of a golden retriever friend, I think of a literal golden retriever, right? They're always looking around. They're always checking out the vibes. They're gravitating where the energy is.
Where's the fun?
Where is the fun? What is the next fun thing I can do? But they're also very respondent to wanting to be loved. They're going to do things for you because they know that it makes you happy, right?
I would say the golden retriever is the one that needs affirmation for all the things that they do. Yeah,
absolutely. Not only are they going to plan the party, they're going to wait for you to tell them that you did a really good job. You know, they need to hear that you had a good time, and that's really what drives them to throw the next party.
They're probably the first one to tell you that you did an amazing job if you're the one that threw the party too.
100%. They're going to shower you with compliments.
Gratitude.
Yeah, they're going to show a lot of gratitude, and they're generally going to be that like high energy, positive friendship person, you know, maybe sometimes a little too emotionally dependent, you know.
That's fair.
You know, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows for these personality types. So they will get their feelings hurt if they didn't get enough positive affirmation. They are going to maybe even keep score every once in a while.
It's probably the more sensitive of the three personality types.
Yeah.
And hey, guys, guess what? Deborah and I are the same.
Surprise, we're the same. We're both golden retriever friends. We are going to, both of us love hosting.
Yeah.
Both of us love like putting the plans in motion, putting the vibes out there, seeing who can come. We are highly sensitive to how everybody is adjusting and adapting. We're putting everybody before our needs to make sure that they're having a good time. Yeah, I definitely resonate deeply with the golden retriever.
We have the hardest time making the decision for the group. Whatever you want to do, I'm down for anything. And like, we mean that. But then everybody else is like, can you just say what you want?
Yeah. Perfect example was yesterday when, you know, we had made plans in the beginning of the day that we were going to meet everybody out at a brewery. And then we're like, well, let's get brunch and then we'll go to the brewery later. Well, this presented an in-between time of events that I personally was freaking out about. I was like, are people going to lose interest in the middle of the day? Are people going to feel like we've already been hanging out a long time? Do we really need to hang out tonight too? I'm worried that people feel like I am like completely taking over their weekend just by being in town. And we ended up pivoting plans to just go to one of our friends' houses because we love sitting on comfy couches and eating food whenever we want to eat. So sometimes the constraints of even a brewery, which has, you know, trailer parks, and even that felt a little too rigid.
Parks?
Oh, food truck parks. I'm sorry. Trailer parks. That's hilarious. Food truck parks, a lot of variety, but there's still kind of a rigid nature of like, are we going to have enough seating? Are we going to be able to sit at the same area? Are the kids going to get restless and want to go home? So even though we all very clearly were like totally down to go to a friend's house instead, the whole time I'm like, oh no, is this a boring plan? Are people going to want to do this? Is everyone mad at me for like changing their day? Like, or, is so-and-so going to be able to make it? And I mean, that's just golden retriever on display right there.
Yep. Nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to the black cat. What are some traits?
So your black cat friend is usually the one that the golden retriever is always trying to impress, right? They're always looking at the black cat to be like, is this good? Am I pleasing you? So to me, this is probably your one that's a little bit more introverted, might not always wear their emotions on their sleeve. So it's kind of difficult to tell upon first glance. Like, are they having a good time? Is their head somewhere else? They might often be attributed with the expression resting bitch face, right?
Yeah.
And even though, which I have a complicated relationship with that term because let people just not smile every once in a while, So yeah, your black cat friend is going to be a little bit mysterious, a little harder to just peg immediately. And they're the one in the group chat that you forget is in the group chat.
Yes.
Because they're not contributing, But then out of nowhere, they'll be like, okay, I'll see you guys there. And you're like, whoa, I forgot you were even in this chat.
Yeah. They're that friend that will disappear for days at a time, but then show up with exactly what you need.
Yeah.
And something else to remember with the black cat is, I think, especially from the golden retriever dynamic, it's hard not to feel like they're mad at you when they're not talking to you.
Yes.
But they're just doing their own thing. They're probably not even thinking about you.
That is the worst part, when you realize that you've made up an entire conflict in your head and you are not even on their radar. So like if you're a golden retriever, you might be overthinking their actions 10 times more than they've ever even thought about it.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. The black cats, they're mysterious, they're independent, they're necessary. They balance the golden retriever out.
100%.
One of your best friends is a black cat.
One of my best friends is a black cat. If she hears this, she'll know exactly who she is. Just a calming presence. You never really see them at an 11. They're usually they rest between like a 5 and a 7 in terms of just like a vibrational level. And a lot of times that can really make them appear to have their shit together, right? They seem kind of calm and collected and sometimes need a little bit of coaxing to get out of their shell. This particular friend I'm thinking of, I don't think I've ever seen willingly dance.
Oh, no. And don't you ever record her dancing.
Don't you ever record her dancing. Or I would even say, my joke was like really popular music, like rap music even, or like, electronic dance music physically makes her uncomfortable.
Oh, that's why she likes 𝗪𝗏 Cohen and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, she's such a black cat.
She's such a black cat. And it's a great counter, like I said, to the other personality types. But the good thing to note about black cats, even though they might not always be as active socially, whether it is in the group chat or just in general conversation, they are loyal. Black cats are loyal the same way that a golden retriever is. They just show it differently.
They show it differently, and I think they're more selective with their loyalty.
Yes.
Like, you have to earn it. But once you earn it, you got it forever.
Yeah.
Like, they are extremely loyal.
And trustworthy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let the black cat facade make you think that they are.
Yeah, I think there are some misleading stereotypes about black cats in general, like the actual animal.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you refer to that as personality type, like none of the personalities we're talking about today are negative.
No.
They just have different things to offer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a very special personality type, and everyone needs a black cat in their life.
Yeah, because if you find a good one, they're just going to curl up on your lap and they're going to love on you.
And they will fuck anyone up.
They will fuck anyone up. Mm-hmm.
True story.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, our third personality type, the Chaos Goblin.
I love this phrase.
I love this phrase. And it's in the name. The Chaos Goblin is unhinged in the best way. They have the most wild ideas. They thrive on chaos. We had a conversation this morning with our friends about this, actually. And Melissa was ecstatic that she's like, yes, I'm the Chaos Goblin.
Yes.
Of course.
She is our Chaos Goblin.
And
for sure.
It's so incredibly accurate. Like, I love having that terminology for her now.
Mm-hmm.
They are the ones that are all about spontaneity, planning that last minute trip, calling you at midnight like, hey, you want to go for a road trip in the morning?
Yeah, 100%. They are full of surprises. They understand their friends deeply and will kind of show up in very unique ways. So your Chaos Goblin might text you and say, did you get my package? And you're like, what? And it will be, oh, I mean, honestly, Melissa did this week when she saw me. She said, oh, hey, I brought you some goat milk soap and a face mask. Thanks. I actually love both of those things. I would have never thought to just come and see you with gifts, but they're the ones that like, I thought of you. I got you this thing. So like, I love the Chaos Goblin because they really they're the spice of life.
They enrich our lives.
Mm-hmm.
They pull you out of your comfort zone.
Yep.
They bring excitement.
Yeah, they change it up. They elevate the mood. One of my college roommates was a Chaos Goblin, and I don't know anybody who is adored more than this person because she's always finding unique ways to connect with people and bring them out of their shell. And she surrounds herself with really unique and interesting people as a result. It's like they gravitate towards her energy. It's like so amazing to see. And me, as more of a golden retriever, I love that kind of energy, but I, at the same time, sometimes I'm too consumed with like, whoa, is everybody like okay with this?
Are people going to judge me?
Are people going to judge me? Like, is this a little bit too wild? But I think she really pulled out a lot of extroversion from me. And also, I got to experience so many fun things because she was in my life being like, hey, do you want to do a semester in Hawaii next year? I'm like, I didn't even know that was a possibility. It's like, she's the reason why I like did a semester in college in Hawaii because she's like, there's a really cool program. Let's do it. And I'm like, well, okay, let's do it. And like 3 weeks later, we both got in and we were like planning to just go to Hawaii for a semester, which was amazing, So love having those people in your life. Now, if you are very type A and very rigid, this can really push you out of your comfort zone every once in a while.
And you need to understand early on that making plans with the Chaos Goblin is difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yes. They don't want to be pinned down or boxed in sometimes.
You cannot take it personally. It's nothing against you. It's just they're in their own minds.
Yes.
Constantly distracted by other things. Like, I think sometimes it's overwhelming to be Chaos Goblin because there is just so much you're thinking about, so much you want to do, so many ideas you have, and you're like, whoa, this is too much. How do I even start?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they probably feel that way about making plans too. Like, well, if I make these plans and then something else comes up, what do I do?
I remember being frustrated in college with that same friend because if we ever had to be on time, I was like, we're never going to get there on time. Like, I would go to her house like, okay, we're ready to go. And she's like, hold on, this is during the time of like you downloaded songs on LimeWire and you made mixed CDs. So it would be like getting ready for a road trip. Like, we got to leave at this time in order to make it on time. She's like, okay, hold on. I just started burning this CD. It's like, well, okay, that's great and a lot of fun, but like we don't need that per se. Like we have other CDs, So she was always doing things at the last minute and was like definitely pushing my boundaries as a golden retriever because being late is like the worst thing to me, because you might be disappointing someone else. So the Chaos Goblin is going to push your comfort levels when it comes to how rigid your life is.
Yes, well put.
So how do these friendship dynamics work together, and how can you tell maybe which one of these personality types you are? And it is important to say these are not fixed traits. They're not scientific at all, actually. So if you're hearing some of these personality traits and you're not quite sure which ones you are, here's some examples of what it could look like in real life.
Okay. Imagine yourself in a group chat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The golden retriever sends a poll. Like, what restaurant should we eat at?
Mm-hmm.
The black cat completely ignores it. And the Chaos Goblin renames the chat.
Yeah, that's a really good example of what that is like. Yeah. And then the black cat will like chime in at the last minute, like, wait, where are we going again?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
I actually just thought about Seth's brother, my husband's brother. Every time we try to make plans with his family, like we're driving down to visit them and okay, let's go somewhere for dinner. And Seth will do the research. He'll find some options. He'll make sure that they have available reservations. He is a golden retriever as well.
Yes, he is.
And he'll send that to his family. And his older brother is a total Chaos Goblin. And he then uses that list as inspiration to find other restaurants that he does not check to see if they have open reservations. And just sends a whole new list.
Yeah.
A whole new list.
Yep. And then the black cat just shows up at whichever one.
Yeah, just tell me where to be.
Yeah, that is a really great example. So sometimes it's easier to find these examples in pop culture, TV shows, movies. So these examples might help you further understand which personality type you are. And let's talk about one of our favorite shows, Parks and Rec.
Yes.
So Leslie Knope, golden retriever.
Golden retriever to the T. April Ludgate, black cat.
Total black cat.
She even looks like a cat.
Yes, she does.
And I would say Tom is a Chaos Goblin.
Tom, or I would even say Andy.
He has golden retriever vibes, but the personality, Chaos Goblin.
Yes, 100%.
He actually acts like a dog.
Yes, he does.
He's a Chaos Goblin dog.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
But retrievers need responses, black cats need space, and Chaos Goblins need spontaneity and a little chaos. And Andy is spontaneous and chaotic off the wazoo.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I would even say The Office would be another show that I feel like a lot of people are familiar with. Pam Beesly, more of a black cat.
Totally.
Right? Jim, the golden retriever of the year. Michael, Chaos Goblin.
Totally. What would you call Dwight?
I would say he's more black cat energy.
He's so involved in everyone else's business, though.
But not spontaneous.
No.
So not the spontaneity that would be needed to be a Chaos Goblin. And not the positive energy that would make him...
And he doesn't really trust anyone.
It doesn't really trust anybody.
Black cat energy.
Yeah, black cat energy.
Yeah.
Or Broad City, another great show. You've got...
Alana.
Alana is a Chaos Goblin.
100%.
That is Chaos Goblin energy to the T. Abby, more golden retriever. Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
The situations that she gets herself in and her reaction is just, yes, I would act the exact same way.
100%. 100%. So yeah, those are some more illustrations that might help you to figure out which one you are like.
Well, and so beyond that, think about those relationship dynamics. So in Parks and Rec, April, Leslie, and Andy, when they are interacting together, it is such entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah, because they pull out the best in each other. They push each other's buttons at the same time. They get into situations that some would never have been in if they were on their own. And so that's why having the different personality types in one group can really make things a lot of fun.
Yeah. There's something about it that just adds more color to your life.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want too many golden retrievers in the same friend group because then you're never going to decide where to eat, or everyone's going to compromise and eat at a place that nobody's really that happy with, but just nobody had the balls to say something, right? Too many black cats, you're never hanging out. And a group full of Chaos Goblins probably just means jail time at some point, right?
Yeah.
Or losing your passport in a foreign country, missing, your plane because you don't have the golden retriever to remind you that it's time to leave. So it's good to have a healthy balance of these different personality types.
I'm not sure golden retriever and Chaos Goblin, that's a harder relationship dynamic.
Yeah.
Romantically.
Romantically, for sure. But the black cat golden retriever combo, there's something to that. There is something to that.
Agreed. They need to make a movie.
They really do.
About the animals. A golden retriever and a black cat.
Aw.
But they do the human things.
Like a Pixar movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, like Flow?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like Flow.
Guys, you got to watch Flow,
yes.
actually.
So cute. So great. No words. Don't need them.
Nope.
It's
don't need so them. Beautiful.
Visually stunning. So yeah, romantically, black cat, golden retriever combo, solid combination.
Yeah.
A golden retriever loves a black cat. And a black cat attracts a golden retriever.
It does.
They don't need the golden retriever.
No.
But they welcome their affection.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What about Black Cat and Chaos Goblin romantically?
Spicy. I think it might be a little spicy.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Passion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm just like, now change that to friendships.
Right.
And let's think about our friend group.
Mm-hmm. I think the Chaos Goblin and a Black Cat friendship is really beneficial for the Black Cat because, again, it's going to push that introverted energy away a little bit and make room for more adventure. And the Black Cat's sometimes fixed standpoint might rein in the Chaos Goblin, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That foil that each other offers can just sort of even things out a little bit,
Yeah.
you know?
One of our Chaos Goblin friends sent a link to a giant potential compound home,
Mm-hmm.
but it had some creepy vibes, I guess. And she was like, well, we have rooms for seances now, guys. We can be witches.
Mm-hmm.
And our Black Cat friend was like, cool.
Yep. The only thing our Black Cat friend saw was a greenhouse is in there.
Yes.
Didn't pay any attention to the creepy elements of the house. Another perfect example of our Chaos Goblin in our group. She is the one that offered up her house for us to go to, and then 30 minutes later texted to verify that she actually offered that up.
Yes.
Like, had immediately forgotten that she made the plans.
Yes.
She's like, did we say you guys were coming here? It's like, yeah, you invited all of us, actually.
We're on our way.
Again, just flying by the seat of their pants, and we love it, and we're here for it.
Yeah. Okay, so we've met the types. We've discussed how they interact. Now, let's talk about how to love and survive each type, because they definitely come with their challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Golden Retriever, I think we touched on this earlier. They need the affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
They need acknowledgement for the work that they've done. And I know, like, that is something I've talked about in the past. I know that about myself. Valid.
Yes, 100%.
They might overextend themselves. And if you ghost them, it is one of the most hurtful things you can do.
Yeah, they're going to be very sensitive to rejection. They're going to perceive things that are not rejection as rejection more often than maybe some of these other personality types.
Agreed. Yeah. So if you're a Chaos Goblin or a Black Cat, one of the best things you can do is just acknowledge the hard work the Golden Retriever does, because they're the one that makes sure you all have a dinner date. They're the ones that make sure you're planning a group trip. They deserve appreciation for keeping the crew in line a little bit.
Chaos Goblins and Black Cats don't take things as personally, and they forget that Golden Retrievers do. So the best thing you can do if you are not a Golden Retriever is to take a little bit of effort to either acknowledge or, if nothing else, confirm your reservation with that person. So if your Golden Retriever is like, hey, who's down for lunch? And you're a Black Cat or a Chaos Goblin and you have not responded, that's like the worst thing you can do in the group chat. Just give a little acknowledgement. Hey, I don't think I can make it, but let's try another time. That goes a long way because your silence speaks volumes to the Golden Retriever in a very detrimental way. So just be mindful that they need closure when it comes to communication loops.
Yes. And then on the other side of things, with the Black Cat, just like an introvert, they need time to recharge, which means they might not talk to you for a little while. So even as a Golden Retriever, remembering not to take that personally.
Yeah. So a Black Cat recharges by being alone. That's like what introverts do.
They got to curl up next to a window and take a nap.
They need naps. They need alone time, you know. And like we said before, these are not fixed traits. So one trait I have that is Black Cat energy is my 𝗖𝗵𝘁 nights that I needed to have when I was like in a serious relationship. Like I needed to be very clear, like I am not going to see you on Thursday because I need this time to recharge my batteries. And that includes not speaking to anyone for like 24 hours. So the Black Cat needs to know how to communicate articulately the time that they need for themselves. And your Golden Retriever needs to understand that they don't need to take that personally. And your Chaos Goblin needs to not hound them over and over again. Come on, man, let's just go. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
don't be a drab. You stayed in last week. You know, like they need to know their boundaries with pushing somebody out of their comfort zone.
And from the female perspective, I think if you look at the menstrual cycle, I'm sure we all cycle through each version at some point. Like when Auntie Flo comes to visit, I turn into a black cat.
Yes. When I'm ovulating, I'm a Chaos Goblin.
Dude, the
watch out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
It is funny. You can cycle through all three personality types.
Absolutely. And sometimes in a day.
In a day, even. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Okay, so Chaos Goblin. How to love and survive. I think this is the most important one to discuss because I think they're the most often misunderstood.
Yeah.
Like one of my best friends is a Chaos Goblin. I love that about her. It has brought that out in me over the years when we've spent time together. But it used to be very challenging because I would take it personally when she would cancel plans or not settle on plans or be late. It just felt like she didn't care about our friendship. And then because she and I actually got super into learning about personality types, we were really into the Myers-Briggs at that time. And that was another lens to better understand that that's just a part of her personality. That's just who she is. And once I was able to embrace that, it made our friendship so much better.
Yeah.
Because now I know when I don't see her forever, it's not because she doesn't want to see me.
Yeah, exactly. I think the misconception about Chaos Goblins is that they're hyper independent and they don't need other people, but everybody needs somebody.
Yeah.
You know, so I think they might be your friend that you mistake is totally fine when they could be going through something really personal, really difficult. It's just they are unlikely to like put that on other people. They're going to deal with it a little bit more privately and maybe even have the facade of everything's fine.
That is so accurate. You nailed it.
Yeah. So make sure to check in on your Chaos Goblins, right? Just because they may lead a more adventurous, spontaneous life than you does not mean that everything is all hunky-dory and that everything is fine. So check in on your Chaos Goblins. They need all the things that everyone else needs. They need positive affirmation. They need someone to check in on them. They also probably need some alone time to recharge.
Yes, they love alone time because then they get to do whatever they want. And Chaos Goblins, they need creative outlets and they need the freedom to be unpredictable. Like it is an active part of their being. If you try to tamp that down, it's not going to end well for you.
No, it's not. No. Yeah, so let them be themselves. But don't assume that they don't need you because they still do.
I saw something funny earlier. Black cats don't want a surprise party. They want to approve the guest list and then pretend they're surprised.
Yes.
I was like,
yeah,
that's a black cat. And that's another way I know that I'm a golden retriever because I'm like, please surprise me. Everyone surprise me every day.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to surprise me because I love surprising.
Yeah, it's difficult to surprise a golden retriever because we are so keen on vibes. We can sense when something's up, right? You can sense it in the air. You're like, why is everyone being weird? Why is everyone being weird towards me? Like you can just pick up on it immediately, whereas maybe a Chaos Goblin might not read that immediately, right? They might be easier to surprise, even though getting them to their own surprise party on time is going to be a challenge.
I would be worried about planning a surprise party for a Chaos Goblin.
That is very true, because at the last minute, they could say, you know what? Actually, I'm going to go here instead.
And if you think your friendship group doesn't have a Chaos Goblin, it's probably you.
That's true. That is true. Look around, check yourself. Or I was also going to say, give it time. Because the great thing about these personality traits is that they come and go. They change over time. And sometimes people take over one personality while someone else maybe retreats and becomes more of that black cat. So these are an evolution.
Yeah.
It's an evolution of these personality types.
We contain multitudes. And depending on your life stage, your stress level, where you're at in your career, different friend group dynamics can completely change what version of yourself comes out.
Sometimes your personality adapts to what is needed in the group. So like we said, you might go out with a group of golden retrievers. Throughout the night, someone is going to step up to the Chaos Goblin role, and another person's going to retreat inward to be the black cat in the group, because there's always going to be a combination of those three personalities.
Yeah. Like your mood dictates all of that. Like I can remember like nights out on the town when we were younger, if things started to get a little too crazy, like I would totally like shut down and want to leave. That's black cat energy.
That is black cat energy, exactly.
You know?
And then other times, if someone needs someone to take the reins and start planning where we're going to eat, the golden retriever appears.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's my default. Hands down.
Yeah, 100%.
All we're trying to say is everybody's a hybrid. Everyone's a hybrid. Are you a goblin? Are you a retriever? Are you a cat? All of the above.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm every woman. It's all in me. So it's important to understand how these personality types work together and why this framework matters. One of which is it really helps you celebrate your differences. It's possible that you didn't really know how to pinpoint the differences in your friend group and how everybody shows up. So maybe understanding these different personality types will let somebody off the hook.
It reduces misunderstandings. Like a retriever isn't always clingy. Black cat isn't always cold, and a goblin isn't always irresponsible.
Yeah.
Like those negative connotations do not define any of us completely. It's just a better way to understand your friend's motivations.
Yeah. And it's fun to be able to call out these personalities sometimes. So if someone really starts to, suggest too many crazy things or is constantly coming late to events, you can be like, okay, Chaos Goblin, let's rein it in a little bit,
And I think it's just so much more fun to use that terminology instead, because you got the Enneagram, Myers-Briggs. Those aren't as fun to say. Like typical INFP.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Right.
Everyone knows what you mean when you say that's some typical black cat energy.
Yeah, not the ENFJ that is a golden retriever.
Yes, that is. Nailed it.
Yep.
Enneagram type 2.
Yep. Yeah. So hopefully framing it under these personalities can reduce misunderstandings and really help your friendships feel more playful and less pressure-filled.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this could also be a really fun group Halloween costume.
This would be such a fun costume for Halloween.
And then you could just really take on those characteristics for each type
and whole night.
And just go nuts at a party. And people will be like, what is happening? Why is she sitting on the counter?
Right. Yes. Why is she drinking milk with her paw?
Why is she taking a shit in the backyard?
Why is she chasing that tennis ball down the street?
Oh my God, is she going to jump off the roof?
Oh my God. Yes, Halloween costumes. I am reserving that idea.
Yeah. Chaos Goblin is definitely going to make everybody go TP some houses.
Yes. Yeah, they're going to go streaking.
Oh,
at the end of the night.
100%.
Love it.
Okay.
So which friendship personality are you? Are you a black cat? Are you a chaos goblin? If you found yourself being more of the golden retriever, tell us about your friendship dynamics and maybe how they've changed over the years. We'd love to hear your stories. So email us at artofclassiness@gmail.com and maybe we'll read your chaos goblin antics on air. All right, let's move on to our next segment, our class act of the week. This is where we share some of the classiest things or people that we've encountered over the past week. And this week, it is Robin's turn. So Robin, what is your class act of the week?
My class act of the week is my wonderful, doting husband, Seth, who went above and beyond for us at our branding shoot this weekend. He took the day off work. He helped us load up the car. He chauffeured us around town. He made sure we ate.
Yes.
He was steaming our clothes for us while we were shooting.
And did a great job.
He did a fantastic job. He was moving furniture. He was holding props.
Yeah, he was holding the reflector light for the photographer so we would get the best shadows on our faces.
He was taking background video recordings.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, this was a 13-hour day and not a single complaint.
No.
Smile on his face. Like, he was just so helpful and sweet and supportive. And we called him our podcast poppy.
Podcast poppy.
Podcast poppy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so appreciative for him in many ways, but it really meant a lot having him there to assist us. Like, we needed that help.
Yeah.
Things would not have gone as smoothly if it hadn't been for him. And so my fella is just a real class act every week, but this week in particular.
Huge shout out. In fact, if you follow us on social media, we've got a great behind the scenes reel and TikTok about our day of shooting, and all of the footage was captured by our podcast poppy, Seth. So huge shout out to him. And I think that's a great class act of the week.
I love you, Seth.
Thank you. Okay, now it's time for class or crass. This is where we discuss, is it classy or is it crass? And this week's scenario, since I'm traveling, is a little bit apropos, but you are on a 5-hour flight. The person next to you takes off their shoes. Is it classy? Discuss.
I just made a yucky face.
Yes.
But that's only because I was imagining someone who has really stinky feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people know when they have stinky feet.
You would think.
People are aware. You have to be.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has have told you throughout your life, hey, man, your feet really stink.
Yeah.
So if you're taking your shoes off with that knowledge, that's just fucking rude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I know I don't have stinky feet. If it's a super long flight and my feet get like swollen,
yeah.
First of all, I always have socks on.
Mm-hmm.
There's something weird to me about people not having socks on when they take their shoes off.
Or specifically on a plane. Like, it's kind of hard to travel with just wearing sandals, even if you're going to like a warm location.
Yeah. Even when I wear sandals, I'm wearing socks.
Really?
Well, not like as a fashion statement.
Yeah.
But
obviously not a fashion statement.
You've seen me this weekend. When
Yeah,
I
that's
take
true.
Penny out, I just put on my Birks.
Yeah. Birkenstocks with socks. I'll allow it on an airplane.
Birkenstocks with socks.
Birkensocks.
Oh my gosh.
There it is.
How are they not making their own?
How would you not make socks that look like they already have Birkenstocks over them? Genius. I'm doing it.
Email them.
I will.
Email them. Give them a call.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it is crass when you are making things uncomfortable for people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have seen people take their shoes off and put their feet through the seats in front of them.
Absolutely not, sir. That is not your seat.
Yeah. I actually saw a funny reel where this happened and the girl like painted his toenails while he was sleeping.
That's what you get. That's what you
fucking get.
Ew.
That's so disgusting and rude. The only way it's classy is if you know your feet don't stink.
Mm-hmm.
You keep your feet on the floor.
Yeah. Stay in your space.
And if you're going to the bathroom, put your shoes back on. Or some slippers. Have something. Don't go into the bathroom without shoes on. Like,
ugh, that is foul
yay.
to me. That is disgusting.
Yes.
Even with socks on. That is so gross. The way that, even though you really should be closing the toilet seat before you hit the flush button, if you're not doing that, you are literally the worst kind of Chaos Goblin in the world. But just all the, no, you got to have hard shoes on when you go into an airplane bathroom.
Hard shoes?
Yeah, not just like little slippers. You know what I mean?
I'm okay with slippers because when we flew business class back after our honeymoon for a special little treat, and they gave us slippers.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so I would just slide those on to go to the bathroom. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, that was going to be my solution, right? Because I personally feel like my feet get swollen when I fly. I bought a pair of shoes that are just like slightly too small, but I really liked them. And I wore them to Tulum when I flew a few years ago. And I was in pain. Like, I actually had to like take my shoes off. Now, thankfully, I was sitting next to somebody I knew, which actually now I'm thinking about it, maybe that isn't a good thing to do because it was a coworker. So maybe that was like crossing a line, being like, I'm going to take my shoes off. But I absolutely had to. I felt like my feet were going to like explode. The classy way to do it is you got to have socks on. Okay, you do not take, I don't care how hot it is in that plane. You don't dare take your socks off. Okay, keep the mystery alive and keep those socks on. But if you can travel with those like little slippers that you either get at hotels or maybe you know someone that travels a lot in business class. Like my dad used to travel to Europe a lot for work. And he was always giving us his British Airways toiletries. And that was like the best gift ever. So we had random amounts of slippers in our house.
Oh, wow.
So if you are able to get the like easily, flexible slippers that an airplane or a hotel can provide, put those on in lieu of your shoes. But bare feet is so crass on an airplane. Don't you dare.
I agree. It is crass if you're not wearing socks. And if you knowingly have stinky feet.
Yes.
That's how it's crass. Otherwise, there's always a way to make it classy.
There's always a way to make it classy. Make it classy by slipping on some slippers or keeping those socks on.
Yeah. And keep feet on the floor.
Feet are not for seats.
Feet are not for seats.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Declared.
That's it for today's episode, but we want to keep the conversation going. Email us your class act of the week, friendship meet cutes, or class or crass scenarios, and we just might feature yours in a future episode.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Art of Classiness, and subscribe wherever you're listening to your podcasts. If you enjoyed this episode, leave us a review. It really helps get this podcast out to new listeners, and we want to create a community of classy ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. And remember, classy is a state of mind.
So mind your classiness.
Bye.